What's going on, guys? It is MurderInc here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to be talking about a typical day of a whale, but there are a few key points we do have to go over before we get into this. So some of you might be wondering, what is a whale and how do I know if I am a whale? So the first thing is going to be, a whale is someone who spends a decent amount of money on this game. The next question is going to be, how much money is a decent amount of money? What you have to do is you have to think about how much you've spent on this game, and if you don't hate yourself after 5 seconds, you're probably not a whale. If you do instantly hate yourself on the amount you can think of in your head, whether it's an estimate or you actually keep the exact number, you're definitely a whale. Now that we have that sorted, let's get into what a typical day of a whale actually looks like. So how a whale would typically start their day off is by waking up at reset. Now you would think and assume to yourself, of course they're going to wake up at reset because they want to hit the clan boss. However, this simply isn't the case for a whale. What we're actually doing is we're waking up to see what kind of packs are available so we can buy them. However, while we are buying these packs here, we're also simultaneously opening up a thread on our favorite platform, Reddit, for Raid Shadow Legends, and we're complaining about how there's a lack of a dupe system and you're not spending any more money. Somehow in our minds this is going to justify us buying every single pack available to us within the daily offers that are launched on reset. Now after we've bought every single offer available to us, we are going to go into whatever random channel we are in the in-game chat, and we are also going to complain about the duplicate system once again. Once we successfully posted, we are going to close this out and check back on it a little bit later. After that's done, the typical next step for a whale is to complete clan boss and any other activities they do have for the day. However, in their spare time, they're going to open up their champion screen and pretty much go through all the legendaries they have, and it's very common to look at this for about 30 minutes every single day, so you feel justified in how far you've come in this game by having all of these legendary borders. Once you've determined you've spent enough time staring at all of your legendary champions, it's very typical to go into a lot of discords offering as much advice as you possibly can. However, whenever someone asks about any type of team, you're always going to suggest that they use full legendaries for all of the content they're doing, even if they are going through campaign. It's very common for a whale to assume everyone has every single legendary and they have incredible gear as well. The next thing on the list to do for a whale is going to be going into the arena. What you're going to do now is you're going to look for any teams with multiple legendaries in it. Then you're going to go in there with even better legendaries and pretty much one-shot them within a few seconds of entering the arena. After you do this, you're going to post your 3-second clear of this team to as many discords as you possibly can, saying, LOL, I can't believe this team is actually in Gold 4. This is the problem with the game in the current state of Arena. Now the key is to repeat this at least 5 times to get your daily quest done and to make sure you've proven your point in as many discords as possible. After Arena, it's very typical to check back in on the in-game chat to see if anyone responded, and also to check in on Reddit to see if anyone responded to your post, so you can downvote them if they're free to play or upvote them if they agree with you. One other very important thing for whales is faction wars. A whale's favorite word is imagine. Let's get that clear right now. So usually when anyone's talking about faction wars, they're going to say something like, imagine not having faction wars completed, or imagine having incredible champions and still not having Lydia. Another very common practice for a whale is, if you are active in a Discord, you're going to message clanmates and say, hey, can you help me out with gearing a champion? But what they really want to do is they want to pretty much sit in Discord hovering over their skill button as well as their rank button, showing you how many chickens they have and how many books you have, to kind of assert your dominance and show them that you're a whale and you spend money. Now, one of the most important events in this entire game for a whale is actually going to be the 2x event. Now, while you spend most of your time and most of your days on the forums and in Discord complaining about the duplicate system, you are also hoarding shards secretly, so every time a 2x event comes out, you randomly pop up in all the chats, letting everyone know you have hundreds of shards based on whatever event's actually available. Then you can go full cycle, complete the circle, and continue to complain once you pull all duplicates on that legendary event. Now, another thing that's very important for a whale is to make sure your sparring pit is always full of 5 legendaries. If you don't have 5 legendaries inside your sparring pit, you pretty much feel like you wasted too much time on this game and you're really not worthy of considering yourself a whale, so it's very important to keep pulling shards so you can always maintain the 5 legendary rule inside your sparring pit. Another thing to note, as you can see, is every single sparring pit is fully upgraded, and whenever someone asks you, is it worth to unlock the sparring pit, you always have to say yes and say this is where you're supposed to keep all 5 of your legendaries that you're leveling up at a time. Now another major talking point for a whale are tournaments. It's very important as a whale you always get first place in a tournament to pretty much assert your dominance over the player base. One common action for a whale to do is to message the people below you saying, hey, you probably shouldn't try in this bracket because I'm here and I'm going to be winning because I am of course a whale. Another common thing for a whale to do is to spend some of their time in the dungeons. Now what they're really going to be doing is making full legendary teams for the dungeons, even if they are extremely unnecessary. The reason why they're going to do this is because they want to make sure they're always using legendaries in all content, because anything besides a gold border is irrelevant to them. This is also a way for them to take a screenshot of the picture once the fight is complete, and any player asking for advice, whether they are early game, mid game, or late game, they can then be shown a picture of this exact team and say, hey, this is probably the best bet for what you should be aiming for to get the most out of this game. Another common thing to do in dungeons with that same rule of the legendaries is to use as many duplicates as possible in all content that you have. Now while it may be slower, back to my old point, you're still going to be winning tournaments if you are a whale. It's just a matter of how much time you actually spend doing it. So you don't want it to be too slow, but it's definitely going to be fast enough to make sure you're guaranteed to win. The main point is use as many duplicates as possible, especially if they're of very strong legendaries, so you can show them off to anyone asking and post random pictures in Discords when no one's really asking for them. Usually by this point you're well past the halfway mark of your day, so I would expect at least 30 minutes to an hour of just staring at your Great Hall, saying, man, I wish they would do something with the additional medals, but you don't really care. As long as you can one-up someone who doesn't currently have their Great Hall complete, your job here is pretty much done. Another fantastic talking point for most whales is going to be the bazaar from the 3v3 arena. Now while players pretty much stand by and swear by this, buying as much things as you can, what a typical whale will do is they won't buy anything, and when someone asks them why, they will say, I don't need to because I am a whale and I don't need any of these extra resources. This is just a free handout for new players who want to play every single day. I really don't have time to 3v3. Now why this is conflicting is you actually do your 3v3 every single day, making as many whale teams as possible. Specifically in the 3v3 arena, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure you can find as many possible duplicates as you can. So here's an example of a typical 3v3 defense for a whale. Now there is also one other variation and I'm going to show you that next. So this would be the second variation of the 3v3 where you would showcase it, but while you were doing this you would actually also revert back to complaining about the duplicate system and now the sorting system, because the problem I'm currently running into is I can't even find all the duplicates because there's no filter system for placing champions in any type of arena, including the 3v3. So for variation 1 that we just showed you, it's very important to make sure you're using some of the best legendaries in the game just to flex your high level of being a whale, that you have multiple of the best champions in the single game. And the second one, you're simply showing the amount of duplicates you actually have. After you've done this, you're then going to take a screenshot of both the pictures, go ahead back to our favorite website that is Reddit, head to the subreddit for Raid Shadow Legends, and then post these images once again complaining about this game not having a duplicate system. However, this time you're going to be using a different Reddit name. Now the next talking point that is a more recent one for Raid Shadow Legends and whales altogether is going to be the Doom Tower. You're going to make sure in between all of your other Discord and Reddit conversations you are talking about the Doom Tower as much as you can, letting everyone know it's very easy how you can complete it in the first try. However, it's kind of just a nuisance, especially the secret rooms, and you're considering at this point not even completing anymore because the rewards aren't worth it and you're a whale, so you're just going to buy the rewards anyways. What this also does is it does give you authority over your peers that you're talking to. In case they haven't finished the Doom Tower, it pretty much gives you superiority over them. This then brings us to the next point where you are talking about bosses here. In case anyone else has a better time on any stage or boss for the Doom Tower than you do, simply your response is going to be, if I actually took the time to gear these champions, I could have the world record in speedruns for this team. However, it's simply not worth my time because as a whale, I am very busy buying packs and complaining about our duplicate system that doesn't exist. Alright guys, that is going to conclude my video on a typical day in the life of a whale, what you can expect from whales, and pretty much how they go about their daily activities. Let me know if you enjoyed this content. I will make a free-to-play video quite similar to this, explaining what a day of a free-to-play player likes and some of the common attitudes and activities they do have on a daily basis. Don't forget guys, if you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you all in my next upload.